Hey there, book team. Noah. Everyone who reads It Must Converse is the channel. Thanks for stopping by again. So, uh, this is going to be a response video. And I know I'm a little late to the conversation, but when it comes down to it, I'm not the type of temperament that likes to engage in debate at all. And I'm not trying to engage in debate here. Any kind of thing that comes up in your mind from this kind of discussion is for you. It's not for me. And anything that I'm saying here is, to just inspire uh, that kind of exploration, because that's the only battle that really matters, guys and girls, is our own interior battle. So what this is a response to is a couple of videos by Lukash at Totally Pretentious. That's my boy. Uh, I've very much enjoyed this maybe midrash, and he did a couple of videos talking about his own belief template, and in that uh, had some support and gave a lot of good thoughts, personal, subjective thought process, sure, which was totally good, as to why he doesn't have a faith that he uh, adheres to and doesn't believe in a deity. Now, Steve Donoghue as well. This is a response to his, because he actually piggybacked on Lukash's video a little bit and said that agnosticism is something that is kind of like a misnomer, or not even a valid term to use when describing your theistic or atheistic belief template. And then there is another follow-up video by Lukash, which is well done as well. But I wanted to throw my hat into the ring on that kind of thing in a couple of ways. And with an honorable mention to Matthew at Mayberry Book Club for his defense of agnosticism video. That's just on point. When it comes down to it, I get it. And Steve Donoghue, you called it out right in your video. That this is not a philosophical pursuit, and with what y'all are doing and how you're talking with that, you're not trying to philosophize at all, because once you do that, you take this other step into something that's intangible, and you can't kind of get your bearings at that point. But what it is that this kind of thing is firmly rooted in the mind, firmly rooted in the intellect. And so that's what I'm going to kind of speak on, but I'm not going to give too much. I want to just kind of let, when it comes down to it, I will speak on it, in more in the comments and things like that if people have, and I'll kind of give my comments as we go along. But I just want to touch a couple of different points. Now, one is an argument that atheists make many, many times. I've heard from personal friends and acquaintances of mine that claim to be atheist. And I've heard it from popular atheists. The last one was Ricky Gervais. And this is kind of like a final cap. They love this argument as if it holds water. And what it comes down, what is said is, if there is a God, why did he make me an atheist? You know what I mean? As if God is this complete, separate being that is, just kind of dipping his finger into humanity on individuals and making them, exactly as they are. And what that is taking away the free will and choice of the person. We have choice. I think everybody can agree on that. Nobody's going to come and say, oh, no, you don't really have any choice. It is apparent in your experience that you have choice. And so we have grown and become the kind of thinkers and beings that we are by our own choice. And that kind of argument of, if there is really a God, why did he make me an atheist then? You know what I mean? Is just ridiculous, because you have a choice in the matter. And so this speech is I'm reading from this volume here. This is a transcript of the speech, but I will link it in the description box because it's about 20 or 25 minutes, and it's well worth the listen, no matter what. And if you want to comment on what I'm saying, I would strongly urge you to listen to that first, because it's beautiful and awesome, and then you will have the full context of what I'm saying. I'm not going to read, everything. So, in response to that kind of atheist argument, what I came across is this right here. Because we prize tolerance and diversity of belief, nowhere in our liberal arts education analysis do we want to claim that one guy's interpretation is true and the other guy's is false or bad. Which is fine, except that we never end up talking about just where these individual templates and beliefs come from, meaning where they come from inside the two guys. As if a person's most basic orientation towards the world and the meaning of his experience were somehow automatically hardwired, like height or shoe size, and absorbed from the culture, like language. As if how we construct meaning were not actually a matter of personal, intentional choice. It is a conscious decision. So, there you go. I mean, this is a very, a guy that's also rooted in the mind, that is also, worked through it enough to know, and perceptive enough to know that he does have his own choice. So, sorry about that. No worries. So there is the main crux of what I want to get at is, rather than sitting there and debating, whether or not agnostic terminology has a place in another individual's subjective experience of the world, we can actually make the claim and be sitting in the truth, even more of the truth of the matter, by saying that there is no such thing as atheism. There is no such thing as atheism. Now, I understand that most of the way that the term atheism is being used is just in the way of a very strict definition of a deity, God, that is apart and on and above the creation in some way and can have his will be done by, some miraculous means or something like that. But there is not, regardless of the hundreds and maybe thousands and thousands of popular Christians that you run into in your daily life, there is no real Christian or no real believer that believes something like that, in that a God is apart from creation. For example, in the scriptures it says it explicitly. Paul says, "Do you not know that Christ is within you, and that your body is the temple of the living God?" And it is referred to over and over and over. Whether or not those kind of scriptures are what an outward Christian, a popular Christian, lives their life by, they might just be, thinking God is answering their prayers and giving them all, gonna give them, material success. But I'm talking about real believers here, and So when it comes down to it, I would make the argument that if there's any of those terminologies that can do with saying that is completely something that doesn't even happen across the board, it is that an atheist is is you know is the one that is the fairy tale there, because when it comes down to it, if you didn't have any higher ideal, anything spiritual, quote unquote, because you can use whatever terminology you want to use for it and do whatever kind of mental gymnastics with it you want. But if you're not living for something higher, an ideal, and in that way, I would use the term spiritual, then there is no hope at that point, and there's nothing to work for, and you would just be not having a lot of inner directive to your life. But what I want to touch on in this is what he says is no. Okay. The only thing that is capital T true is that you get to decide how you're going to try and see things. This, I submit, is the freedom of a real education, learning how to be well adjusted. You get to consciously decide what has meaning and what doesn't in your life. You decide what to worship because there's something else that is true. In the day-to-day trenches of adult life, there is actually no such thing as atheism. There is no such thing as not worshiping. Everybody worships. The only choice we get is what to worship. An outstanding reason for choosing that sort of God or spiritual type thing to worship, be it JC or Allah, be it Yahweh or the Wiccan mother goddess or the Four Noble Truths, or some infrangible set of ethical principles, is that pretty much anything else you worship will eat you alive. If you worship money and things, if they are where you tap real meaning in life, then you will never have enough. You will never feel you have enough. It is the truth. Worship your own body and beauty and sexual allure, and you will always feel ugly. And when time and age start showing, you will die a million deaths before they finally plant you. On one level, we all know this stuff already. It's been codified as myth, proverb, cliche, epigrams, parables, the skeleton of every great story. The trick is keeping the truth up front in daily consciousness. And what did he say the truth is? Your own choice. That's the thing to keep up front in daily consciousness all the time. If you worship power, you will feel weak and afraid. You will need ever more power over others to keep that fear at bay. If you worship your intellect, being seen as smart, you will end up feeling stupid, a fraud, and always on the verge of being found out, and so on. Look, the insidious thing about these forms of worship is not that they're evil or sinful. They are not conscious. They are default settings. It is when you are not making a choice. When you are not making a choice every single moment in your life to decide what it is that you are going to place value on, and what is the the correct path in dealing with others and in your conduct of your own mind. So I hope you enjoyed this book too. I'll end it right there. I've said enough, uh, and I hope that we can that I can enter the conversation. Hope it inspires you. If not, then all good. And just take that, for just kind of mull it over. All good. Thank you very much. Catch you next time. Bye bye.